Hey there, how are you guys doing? Well, I hope you're enjoying your day today and you don't have too much work to do. Thank you to those of you who have been doing the art projects and then sharing them with me. I really like seeing them. I'm hoping that today's project will be of interest to more of you because it's not as much of an art project as it is kind of a building project, kind of like a creating a world project. So I'm hoping that I'll see more pictures during the week and next week when this is due. Last week we did a drawing where we learned about foreground, middle ground, and background. So if you remember or if you did the project, you know that foreground is that portion of when you're looking at a scene, let's say it's your backyard. The foreground is what's closest to you. Maybe in my case it would be my patio or my grass. The middle ground might be farther away in the grass or maybe to the fence or the trees or bushes near the fence. And the background is everything farther away. So sky, clouds, into the neighbor's yards, things like that is background. So for today's project, I'm going to have you create a world in a box that has foreground, middle ground, and background. So it's kind of taking last week's lesson and moving it on into the three-dimensional world. So maybe you've heard of dioramas or dioramas. Everybody says them a little differently. You may have made one another year here at school. I'm not sure since this is my first year. But let me show you what I'm talking about. And then later on in this video, I'm going to put a couple of, like a slideshow of some other ideas for you so that you can get your creative juices flowing and hopefully come up with some cool ideas. Okay, so this is a little sample. It's a little wooden box that you can hang on the wall. And my family goes to Apple Hill every year for our pumpkins and for Christmas trees. So there's this crafter family that makes these things. They're all handmade, so they make the whole frame. It's got a glass front or a plastic front, and then all the little stuff inside. So let me hold it up where you can see it. I know that there is some reflection. Okay, so it's hard to tell, but there's a chalkboard in the background on the wall. And there's a little stool with a book and some glasses, and on the floor is it's funny, this is like backwards with a camera. It's some books tied up with an old belt, so it's an old-fashioned schoolroom. So that's one of the ones, and then the other one that we have is this, and let's get that reflection out of there. It is an old-fashioned kitchen, so there's a little wood-burning stove. A dog is on the floor on a rug right by the warm stove, and then behind the dog there's a butter churn and a like a milk barrel or milk bottle. It's metal, and then on the wall I think it says "Home Sweet Home." So these people make these little bitty boxes and bigger ones too, filled with all kinds of old-fashioned looking little scenes from houses. So a diorama is basically a scene of something. You are going to need to make your own inside of a box. So I have one of these storage boxes, which is basically a shoe box. So I'd like you to find one of these. If you have something smaller, fine. If you have something bigger, you can have a huge big diorama if you want to. But I want you to remember from last week what I talked about, the foreground, the middle ground, and the background. So I need you to have on either of the side walls and the back wall of this box, I want you to have a drawing that you glue onto the back of the box and the sides that shows whatever your place that you're making is. So for example, if it's something at the beach, you might have sky with clouds or maybe palm trees drawn on here that's far off in the distance. You may even have some ocean water. So if you want to get tricky, you can even do the sky. You can do another piece of paper attached onto the top and have the sky in there. And then with your lid, if you position the box like this so that it sits on top of your lid, then what you get is kind of like a stage where there's this area here in the front that's going to be your foreground. This stuff inside the box is the middle, and then whatever's on that back wall, that's the background. So the objects that you collect or make or build to place in here, some of them can be out on the front in the foreground, so meaning closer to you, closer to the camera, the middle, and the background. Okay? Now, how are you going to make this? Like I said, you'll need this box and you'll need some kind of paper or some way to draw in on the back walls and the side walls of the box. But the rest of it is up to you and your creativity. So, those of you who are not into art, if you're still watching, go get your Legos. Go get your army men. Go get your figurines or whatever you have. Go get your Barbies. Do people still play with Barbies? You guys are too old, but maybe not. I don't know. Whatever. Go get your little bitty figures and have fun arranging them in some type of a way inside there. You can make furniture to put your people on. You can, if there are in fact people, it can be a zoo with animals in it. You could make it your garage, your dream garage, where you put your Lambo and your Bugatti and your whatever else you want. So I don't care what's in there. Just show me foreground, middle ground, and background. Be creative. You can make it into, you guys made fairy and troll houses before. How about another one of those? But this time we see the inside of the house. Maybe you make it where on the, let's set this up again, on the foreground, maybe you use grass clippings or something here, or maybe you use leaves or whatever you can find to make a forest floor. Maybe you find some twigs that you can stick in here and kind of wedge in there to be little miniature trees. So really anything goes. Hopefully this could be a fun thing. And if you have little brothers or sisters, they might want to add to this, and you could have it be a together activity. It could be fun, or you can ask your parents to help you look for stuff, or everybody could add something into it. Maybe it's a COVID time capsule where it's like an image, a scene of your family putting together a puzzle or doing whatever you're doing at home with COVID in the world. So that's the project. I'm going to sign off in a minute, but stick around at the end. I'm going to put a couple of pictures, kind of like a slideshow, to give you some more ideas and some inspiration for how to get this project done. So good job. Thanks for hanging in there. I love to see your work, so don't forget to send me pictures. Have a great day. Bye.